Diana Overton is our next speaker. Diana is Group Finance Director for Frontier Agriculture and a trustee for RABI. She's passionate about increasing the visibility of women in our industry and ensuring that members of the farming community who find themselves facing mental or physical health challenges or financial difficulties can access support. Diana.
Thank you, Abby, and good morning. I would like to start by telling a short story. Most of you will have heard of the poet Lord Byron. However, you may not have heard of his daughter, Ada Lovelace. Byron was well known for his mood swings and unpredictable temperament. Ada's mother was anxious that her daughter should not inherit her father's issues, and so she promoted Ada's interest in mathematics and logic as a defense against emotional instability. And as I'm sure you can imagine, in the 1800s, it was very unusual for a young woman to study maths. Charles Babbage invented the difference engine in 1832, which most people consider to be the first computer, although today we would recognize it more as a large calculator. Ada met Charles Babbage at a party when she was just 17. She was brave enough to approach him, driven by her desire to discuss mathematics with him. They went on to have a long working relationship and friendship. And Ada made a significant contribution to the further development of the difference engine. She recognized that it could do more than just calculations, and she wrote what is now considered to be the first ever computer program. So what are the key points of my story? Ada was someone who was not visible, but she had a fantastic idea and a significant contribution to make to society. Her voice would not have been heard if she hadn't been brave. I'm now going to take you back to the future, hopefully, there we are, to 2024. Agriculture is facing its biggest transformation. The environment in which we all operate is changing. We have to improve the long-term resilience and security of our food supply chain, whether the threat is from another pandemic, climate change, or conflict. We all risk losing our livelihoods. We may be farmers, or we may work for organizations within the agricultural sector. Our source of income is under threat if we don't recognize the need for change. But how do we find the new way forward? We need to surround ourselves with new ideas and innovative people. We need to harness the technology and the data that are available to us today to respond to these challenges. We need diversity of thought. In the Ada Lovelace story, I explained that Ada was brave enough to make herself visible, but she also needed Charles Babbage to recognize and value her contribution. Leadership is about identifying the best solution to the challenge being faced. And as leaders, we all have a responsibility to be open to diverse ideas. But how do we encourage greater diversity of ideas in agriculture? At Frontier, one approach we're using to tackle this challenge is our Women's Development Programme. We identified that there was the potential for increased diversity of ideas and leadership to come from within our business. But we had to create a forum to enable the talented women within Frontier to be more visible. And so we launched the Women's Development Programme. The programme lasts a year and is delivered with the support of male and female line managers, mentors, and sponsors. Key areas of focus for the programme are building self-confidence and increasing self-awareness. It identifies some of the societal, organisational, and personal barriers that exist and which research has shown can prevent women from achieving their potential in their careers. In the first programme, from the cohort of 12, 4 women have already been promoted within Frontier. And what's even more interesting is how some of these promotions came about. For example, one of these women shared with her cohort on the programme that her department would need significant structural changes to its leadership as a result of forthcoming retirement. Through the guidance and the coaching elements of the programme, this woman created a proposal for the future leadership of her department. That proposal was embraced by the senior leadership team of Frontier. It is now in place, and that woman is thriving in her new leadership role. She admitted that she would not have had the confidence to put herself forward for that role if she hadn't participated in the Women's Development Programme. The bottom line is, her voice would not have been heard. This is a clear illustration of the strong commercial reasons for improving diversity within our industry. The leadership of our industry today is not representative of the diversity of its members. Who is making the strategic decisions within our industry? Whose voices are being heard? Look around the boardroom tables, the conference platforms. These forums are not diverse enough to ensure that all the best ideas are surfacing. However, agriculture as an industry is already gender diverse. And I am very pleased to see how well this is illustrated in the audience for today's conference. But this is still the rare exception to the norm. How many farm businesses depend on a woman who will typically be juggling multiple back office roles? The banking, accounting, payroll, procurement, trading, diversification activities, I can go on, are all crucial to the success of a modern farming business. And what's more, these roles are embracing innovation on a daily basis. They are harnessing data and technology that will be critical to identifying new solutions for our industry. But the visible face of agriculture does not reflect this diversity. So here is my challenge to you. If you've got ideas and you're not visible, be brave, step out of the back office, step out of the shadows, and think of Ada. Think of Minette. And if you're in a position of leadership, look around you and ask yourself what you can do. Make sure that the diversity of voices and ideas that you nurture and promote is equal to the scale and the complexity of the challenge that we face today. Thank you.